I'm managing partner in a Good Company. Thank you all for coming, as Amy said. And thank you for joining us at the showcase event of the Sustainable Supply Chain Challenge. Good Company is a VC investing in early stage startups who tackles the world's biggest problems. We focus agri-tech, circular economy, future of work, digital health. And because we have a very proactive approach, we are partnering in our studio platform with multinational corporates in mapping the industries and the gaps and actively looking for companies that we can help accelerate. That's what we've been doing for the past 3 months at this challenge around the sustainable supply chain. We went on a journey to look for startups who can do the transition of the supply chain to a more resilient and sustainable one. Together, we defined the gaps. Together, we saw 84 companies who joined us at the challenge. Together, we validated 25 top companies and met with all of them with our judges. And today at this event, we're going to meet the top 6 in terms of purpose, of potential, and of people that we believe, even though they come from different, they tackle different gaps, and they come from, they're based in different countries, and they are at different stages in the journey of being a startup. They are all very relevant for all of the um, um, partners at the studio in helping them to scale. So I want to just do the thanks. So we'll start with Amy from AB InBev, who really helped us, who really created this with us, hand in hand, and to all of the 100 plus accelerator team who really helped us as well. Helped us to Naor from Deloitte Catalyst and his team. We've done a lot. I want to thank all of our partners, Leumitech, AWS, SAP, and Meitar. And I want to thank the judges, the panel, Ido, my dear friend and partner at the Good Company. Clap for Ido. Santiago from AB InBev, Macy from 100 plus, Amit from Deloitte, Francisco from ZTech, Yael from Meitar, Dilia from Leumi, Ravid from AWS, Leo from Bring, Tom from SAP, and Omer from Walt. And last but not least, to our very own Amy at Good Company, who runs the studio and the value creation and practically everything. And thank you for making it happen. So enjoy.
So first startup. So Robert from Matero, and he's on Zoom. Come here, Robert from Matero, and he's on Zoom. So they're going to do the first presentation. The format is each startup has 5 minutes to pitch, and then we have 5 minutes of judges' questions. So be ready with your questions. Robert, great, he's there. Yeah, for the judges in the WhatsApp group, the judging form is in the WhatsApp group as well as the overview of all the companies. Yes, but this is a pitch event. Listen, ask good questions, and we can talk about all the startups afterwards. This is not to pick the finalists. It's not a competition between each company, but it's just a really great overview of 6 amazing companies. Okay. Robert from Matero.
Yes. Can I share?
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Awesome. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, just let me know whenever I can start presenting.
تفتح it? Yes, you can go ahead.
Sounds good. Well, hi, my name is Robert Luo. I'm the founder and CEO of Metero. We are a bio-based biomaterial technology company that turns agriculture waste into home compostable packaged material to replace single-use plastic. Have you seen or used this type of flexible film at home, in grocery store, in the supply chain? Do you know that the world produces over 78 million tons of these films to protect our food and products from going to waste? Ironically, 40% of the food around the world still goes to waste no matter what. And these two global problems accumulate for more than 30% of the world's carbon emission. So at Metero, we want to solve these two global problems with a single solution. We developed the world's first patented technology that upcycles agricultural waste and turned it into powder that you can see right here. This powder is actually sourced from the spent grain that we got from Budweiser in China. Budweiser is our partner in China, and we made this into powder that can come from both dairy and plant-based agriculture waste. We then re-engineered through our patent-pending technology that turns these powder into textile fiber and packaging material that you can see right here. These material can home compost or industrial compost at the end of its life. In the past, our technology has already applied to textile fiber made from expired milk, which has been made into t-shirt, just like the one I'm wearing right now, face mask, and underwear, sold to 40 countries around the world. Now, we're expanding on existing technology to solve an even bigger problem, plastic pollution. The packaging film you see right here is made from spent grain sourced from Budweiser. It is home compostable. It's also heat sealable, which can be made into sachet or bag like this. Also has low thickness and good oxygen and water barrier. At the same time, you can print words on it. Not only does our technology apply to flexible packaging material, such as cling wrap, trash bag, and garment bag, it can also be made into rigid packaging, such you can see right here, which can be molded into phone cases, cups, plates, and even beer bottle. That's right. We're also working with Budweiser to create the world's first beer bottle made from its own spent grain, literally create much more value for its own agricultural waste and replace single-use glass. In terms of pricing, we also have advantage over other bio-based materials. For example, we plan to launch a pilot with Budweiser next year in Fujian province, China. By then, we project our cost will be 20 to 40% cheaper compared to existing most widely used PLA and PBAT. And once we reach commercialization by 2024, our price will be similar to LDPE. And the reason is that we are able to source our raw material globally, source spent grain globally at very low cost, which was previously used as animal feedstock. We're creating much higher value for its own agriculture waste, while at the same time replace single-use plastic, paper, and glass. And we are able to scale up very quickly. Because of unique technology, we have already signed MOU with Budweiser. We also signed letter of interest with Harvey Global Solution. They are the packaging partner of Coca-Cola, Panera Bread, and McDonald's. We have also signed letter of interest with Arla. They're the largest dairy brand in the Scandinavian region. We're very excited to start providing the MVP to our clients later this year. In terms of our team, we are a combination of business and tech expertise. I've started 3 companies with 2 acquisitions. My work has been recognized by Forbes and GreenBiz 30 Under 30. I'm also Entrepreneur Hall of Fame at USC Marshall School of Business. My co-founder, also the chief science officer of our team, is Professor Chen from Zhejiang University. He has nearly 30 years of experience in chemical engineering and scaling protein polymer technology. We also have teammates from University of Oxford, Harvard University, and Zoe, who has 9 years of experience in nano and advanced material technology development. Next year, we will start providing the final product, which will be the film or the rigid packaging material to our clients. Then by 2024, once we reach commercialization, we'll be providing pellets to the existing plastic manufacturers So they don't have to convert the technology. Our technology can directly apply to their machines, make it easier for them to make a transition to a more sustainable solution while helping us to scale up quickly. In Q3 of this year, we'll be providing the MVP to our clients and start accepting pre-orders from them. By Q2 of next year, we'll be launching a pilot with Budweiser in Fujian province, in which we'll be producing 800 tons of films per year for a revenue on between $2.5 million to $8 million on annual basis. By 2024 or 2025, the latest, we'll be ready for commercialization on 4,300 tons of pellets per year. And once we're ready for that level, we'll be expanding globally in both China, US, and in Europe to scale up our technology quickly. Not only do we want to partner with more beer company and farmers to help them create more value for their own agricultural waste, their spent grain, we also want to turn this spent grain into useful products that can replace plastic, paper, and single-use glass all at once, reduce carbon emission by more than 8.7 million tons per year. If you believe in the future that can turn agricultural waste into replacing single-use plastic, please join us. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and one day you'll be proud to tell your children that mom and pop have worked so hard to make your future green, safe, and bright again. Thank you.
So I'm going to open the floor to questions. Open the floor to judges for their questions. If there's judges online or here who have a question, feel free. Any questions on the judges online?
Yeah, I have a question. Thanks. So first, very well presented. In Hebrew, you say kol hakavod, so kudos on the presentation. Quick question on what do you see your biggest challenge, given this amazing presentation?
I think that one challenge we have is to make the film more transparent, and we can make the durability even better. So that's what we were working on right now before we provide the MVP by Q3 of this year.
So you think this is a bigger challenge than the actual production and mass production of everything? You're not afraid of going commercial fully?
We are not, because our team has experience in scaling up. Professor Chen, Baron, they all have experience in scaling up technology, and our technology can directly apply to existing plastic manufacturing facilities. So that makes it a whole lot easier for us to scale up quickly.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you. Next question. I think Maisie has one.
I have two, but I'll just start with one just to give the other judges a chance. Are you using any agricultural byproduct aside from spent grain?
Well, currently we're using spent grain as our main source. We use the protein inside of spent grain to create the film. We use the fiber to create the rigid packaging, which can be made into beer bottle potentially.
But do you see applications for other agricultural byproducts besides spent grain, or you think that it has unique properties for what you're producing?
So in the past, we have tested with dairy expired milk, and it has been made into textile fiber. And we're also working with oat waste sourcing from Oatly. So we see this as a variety of product, not just on spent grain.
Great, thanks, Maisie.
So one question, Rob, and again, great presentation. In the life cycle of the grain, there are many different players, right? From the farm to the factory to the plate at the end of the day. How are you thinking about managing this entire ecosystem and actually making sure that everyone are contributing, because standalone is not enough, right? You need the entire network to work for you.
That's a very great question. So that's why we are very excited to partner with Budweiser to use the spent grain, because in the past, their spent grain has been treated as animal feedstock. It's not directly sending to human, instead for animal or as landfill. We want to create more value for their spent grain, while at the same time, this can replace single-use plastic or glass. So we're not competing with the normal food that people consume on a daily basis.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for the question.
Rob, what do you think is your biggest barrier to success?
Well, our biggest barrier right now to success will be that we're still testing out the scale of production that we can have in the initial level, because we already signed letter of interest with some big players in the industry and they want to see us scale up quickly. So we are trying to figure out what's the best way for us to meet their demand at the current moment.
Great. Robert, thank you so much. Next, we have Abby from Pretty Damn Quick. So, thank you, Robert. Welcome, Abby. You can use this mic there. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Is it working?
Yeah.
Great. Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. My name is Avi Moskowitz. I'm going to cheat a little bit and look at the screen. Thanks. And the clicker. The middle clicker? Great. PDQ is plug and play logistics. And what we're doing is we're bringing the Amazon experience to small and medium businesses. The business was actually created for my own pain points. Prior to PDQ, I co-founded a business called Beer Bazaar, a craft beer business here in Israel. We have 5 locations, a craft brewery. And just before Corona, we launched our online store. Just a few weeks before Corona, very quickly we realized that our challenge wasn't bringing customers to our website, but how we actually fulfill those orders, how we deliver them, how we get them to the customers as promised. And we looked around the market, did a survey, and realized that there isn't a solution available. So we began with an MVP, hired some developers, began putting a solution together. Initially, it was only for Beer Bazaar, but ultimately, it became something that we were able to offer other customers. Starting in December, we launched our product commercially, and today we have 20 customers. I have an amazing team. My co-founder, Liran Erez, who has also started a number of companies prior, Shlomo Schwartz, who was involved with companies like Kenshu and Move It prior, and our advisory board is made up of people in e-commerce, leaders in e-commerce, as well as technology and data. As I mentioned, pretty much everything that's happened has happened pretty damn quickly. We began with the deployment in Beer Bazaar in Q2 2020. We integrated with all the Israeli-based carriers. From there, we integrated with Shopify, signed on our first merchants. We integrated with Get, did a full integration with their platform, signed on our first customers, and then today we are integrated with 3 different platforms: Shopify, WooCommerce, and Wix. And we also just recently began installing customers on Wix as well. The growth since we started, we launched officially in December. We've already delivered close to 150,000 orders through the PDQ platform. Why now? COVID, as we know, over the course of the last year, we've seen 10 years of growth in e-commerce in just a few months. Many merchants coming online. Those merchants that are coming online, many of them now have an easy ability to open up a store using Shopify or Wix, for example. Makes it very easy to open a store, but those merchants are not familiar with logistics, fulfillment, and all the intricacies of getting an order delivered to a customer. So we're addressing all these concerns that they have. 1 million new merchants in the market, but 1 million new merchants that have the ability to bring customers, but can't necessarily fulfill those orders the way that Amazon does today. The solution is PDQ. We're 5 clicks to ship. A lot of what we do is about simplicity, very easy UI, UX, predictive logistics and deliverability. We provide real-time exception management. Logistics, 90% of the time works great. The 10% of the time can end up taking a significant amount of the merchant's attention and time. Delivery promise optimization, we begin in the checkout so that the customer is able to see what those delivery options are based on the geography, based on other limitations. And we're also able to score the customer and carrier using algorithms. What we're doing is solving the frustrating merchant dilemma. Typical merchant today, SMBs, have to decide between delivering fast, offering low-cost delivery, or growing sales. PDQ allows them to do all 3 and not have to choose. Our delivery promise platform is made up of primarily 3 parts. We have the e-commerce provider, in this case, Shopify, WooCommerce, and Wix. We've already integrated with those. And then you have the carriers on the other side, the traditional carriers, UPS, DHL, FedEx, and so on. You have the last mile solutions, people that are more regional or local in the States. You have the ability to have customers pick up from store, deliver from store, lockers, and any possible variety of delivery that we support. And in between those two platforms, PDQ sits as middleware that provides all the logic and all the decision making that's required to both help the merchant make the right decision about the delivery and also communicating with the customer so they know when to expect that delivery. The competitive landscape today is made up of a number of different players, but as you can see, they fill in different slices of the market. PDQ is the only SMB solution that begins at the customer checkout and is integrated with the customer checkout and continues all the way through the delivery process so that we're able to help the merchant manage that process all the way through and at the same time make sure that the customer is informed every step of the way. A core part of our value system is ultimately we're providing something that's faster, cheaper, and greener. If you're able to optimize the logistics, fulfillment, and delivery process, that translates into reduced we're able to measure and rate the carbon used by carriers. We're able to eliminate duplicate deliveries, reduce errors and returns, and we're also able to place the inventory closer to the customer, which means that we're traveling less. Our customers today are able to use PDQ to compete. So customers like Soho that have 15 locations here in Israel, Miss Nori, a fashion store, Carmel Berry. It's a variety of customers that range from very, very small to larger. Our go-to-market strategy up to now, we've only been based and focused in Israel to complete our proof of concept, make sure the feature set is mature and working, and that we have the scale and infrastructure in place to grow. And we're going to be expanding into the US starting the second half of the year. Companies like Wix and like Shopify allow us to enter that ecosystem relatively quickly. We have a low-cost, scalable SaaS revenue model. As I said, we've already integrated with the 3 major platforms, but we're going to continue to expand into BigCommerce, Volusion, and a variety of others. Our model is based on per delivery, approximately 35 cents per delivery is how we make our money. And that's really it. So thank you for taking time to listen, and let's get some ship done together.
Thanks, Avi. Are there any questions from in the room before I pass it on to online?
Can you elaborate a bit? What exactly is the difference? I mean, just to name a few, there's fierce competition, as far as I know, just say in the local market, Get Package, Yango, I mean, just to name a few. So what exactly is the difference? You know, what is the unique solution that you're offering?
Companies like Get Package, Get Delivery, Tapuz, here in Israel, for example, they are the people we connect to. So we're connected to all those providers as delivery companies. When you as a customer, as an example, visit the Beer Bazaar site or visit Soho, depending on where you're located in the country, we'll draw a geographical map and show you the options that are relevant to you. So if you're based right here at this location and you visit our website, you'll see that you have same-day delivery, as an example, or you have next-day delivery, or 2-day, or standard, or pick up from store because there's a Soho location that's nearby. Those options are specifically designed for you. It also has logic that's built in that says after 50 orders, we know that Get Delivery can't take more than those orders. So during checkout, while the expectation is still being set for you, you're going to be presented with options that are relevant to you. So we're not actually a fulfillment company. We're not a delivery company. We're the layer that sits between the e-commerce platform and the delivery companies, whatever those delivery companies might be. We also have integration with scooters. So if you live in center Tel Aviv, within 2 or 3 weeks, you'll have deliveries within an hour or 2.
So what's your scale strategy? Like, what's the next? Is it like city by city, or how fast can you scale? That's my main question.
It's a great question. It can come in a couple of different flavors. One is we are partnered now with a logistics company that has 200 locations in the U.S. where they have e-commerce customers. They're a real estate company that's built around e-commerce. So that's an entry point for us to be able to enter the US market. We are starting off with a base of 50 carriers that we're connected to in the US and roll out from there. At the same time, Wix, with the integration, has realized that we're fulfilling a very important need for their customer base. So they have an e-commerce solution that really addresses very small, medium businesses. Those very small, medium businesses are suffering terribly because they don't have a delivery solution. Anybody who's ordered product here in Israel knows it, but even in the States, when you order during peak periods, it can be very difficult. So by using Wix and their customer base, Wix has already given us a significant pipeline of customers in Israel, and ultimately we're going to follow them around the globe. Similarly with Shopify and other platforms really provide us with an entree into expanding into different markets.
Any more judges? Amit?
Yeah, just a quick question. How are you dealing, if you remember 20 something years ago, there was a video and a TV together in one device and it didn't work, right? Because you need to have a TV manufacturer, you need to have a video manufacturer. And you showed your competitors, but how are you going to convince the companies or the SMBs that at the end of the day, they should pick one platform versus taking best out of each category and fixing what they need exactly?
That's a great question. Our argument would be probably, I would use the analogy more of the internet, how in the old days of the internet, we would connect directly with an AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and those specific providers. And over time, there was a clear realization that there's a need for load balancing because not every delivery package is the same. There are packages that have to be delivered cold. There are delivery needs. Different buildings have doormen or they have different ways of accessing the building. The complexity of delivery means that you need to provide a complete solution from checkout all the way through delivery if you really want to be able to live up to the customer promise. If Amazon has taught us anything, that's what they've taught us, is their investment in that crucial technology layer is so important if you're going to live up to the customer promise. It's virtually impossible to do that in slices.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much. Oh, that's close. Next is Eyal from ReturnGo. So thank you so much. This is yours.
Thank you. So hello, everyone. My name is Eyal Rosenthal. I'm one of the founders of ReturnGo.
Yeah, just wait a second.
Oh.
Let's make sure that the people at home can hear you well.
Can everybody hear me well? Can you hear me well now? Better, worse?
It's a little bit low, but we can hear you.
Good to go, or not just yet?
No, this is much better. Thanks.
We could do like the with Verizon. No, the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? Good.
Their commercial.
I have some great old Budweiser commercials, but I would need either several frogs, some Clydesdales.
The Budweiser ones are good. Yeah.
The Budweiser ones were great. Oh. Huh? Oh, I now see that there's a black screen behind me.
I think we're good, Amy, from our side. We hear you much better now.
Can you hear me now? Is everything good to go? All right. Okay, so e-commerce return. I'm Eyal. I'm one of the founders of ReturnGo, and e-commerce returns destroy customer value. If you look at what's actually going on in e-commerce versus brick and mortar, you are seeing 3 times, sometimes more returns versus traditional methods where, depending on the products, it could be anywhere from 20 up to 40%, but the averages tend to be between 20 to 30%. And returns are expensive. The worst part of it is the refunds themselves, because they are the most expensive, and they comprise the overwhelming majority. Refund return, you lose basically not just the cost of customer acquisition, but everything that goes along with it, shipping a product out to a customer, receiving it back, having the people behind the scenes having to deal with it. It is incredibly burdensome. In addition, the environmental impact of all of it is phenomenal. It is, you are seeing tremendous amount of waste, where 25% on average of products are simply being thrown out once they're received back. You're seeing an activity known as circling, which is products traveling all over in the US, all over the United States. If you look at a country like Canada, all over Canada, going between the customer to a warehouse, to the warehouse to a store, and back and forth. And at the end of the day, you're seeing that only about half those products that are being returned are being actually resold effectively. And we at ReturnGo aim to solve that, and we are solving this issue by actually using AI and data-driven decision-making with or for the entire post-purchase experience for merchants, where what we're doing is looking at the customer lifetime value from a revenue side and how we encourage increase of customer activity, but on the other side, how we are also able to manage the merchant's cost and reduce a lot of the logistical activities, whether they be in the actual even return them itself and the shipping itself. Now, today, the way that we do that is we basically work with a store where they have their own set policies and procedures. And on top of those policies and procedures, we add AI-driven recommendations. And through those recommendations, we're able to personalize the return offers for a customer. So instead of simply getting an option for a refund, he gets options for a variety of different actions that the end result is improving the customer lifetime value. And when we look at examples of those items, it can be asking the customer to donate the item, telling him to keep it. If it's an example of a damaged item, simply being able to seamlessly tell him to destroy it, to throw the item himself, as opposed to sending it to the merchant, having it being shipped halfway around the country, reviewed by somebody, and then thrown out. And we have seen that it works incredibly well. And the upside of it is that we're also seeing, we're already seeing an environmental impact to it, at least from what is going on with our merchandise activity, where now a little more than 20% of our customers are actually using these AI-based resolutions. And when they use those resolutions, we're getting a significant uptake in the actual, what I'd call green choices, choices that either prevent logistics or cause other environmental efficiencies. And our targets are much more ambitious to what it is today. And as we can see with what we've already done, the bottom line is we deliver results. Today, we have more than 100 active customers, where we have additional customers that are also in trials, partnerships with category leaders. We've already demonstrated, at least from an LTV perspective, and by what we're doing on the logistics side to be helping merchants. I have here a case study, but actually more interesting than that is something, an anecdote from last night, so it's not in the slides, but I had a commercial negotiation with a subsidiary of a small CPG company named Unilever, and turns out that for this company's Canadian operations, returns are only about 2-3%. So it's very small, it's facial products. But it turns out that 2-3% is about 20% of their operational activities. And the call was with their CFO, VP operations, and 2 other individuals, where this is one of their biggest headaches as a CPG company, even though returns are a small amount. And it was the weirdest negotiation because they were selling me on why I should sell to them. Not exactly an Israeli method of negotiating, and I was happy with it. But the bottom line of it was this large conglomerate, even though it seems like it might be just a small part of their operations, has all of management's attention to it, and you know, and they need us. And it was weird that they need us because they were saying they need it both for the reverse logistics costs, both for the ability to provide customers the different options, the amount of human time that is taken up by simply taking eliminating damaged items from their pipeline is one of the biggest overheads that they incur, and ReturnGo does it today out of the box. So right now, I'm in a fortunate position where our customers love us. If anybody wants to look at what our reviews are It's simply that our customers think we're amazing. Some of them also think that they want more features. So it's a fun and odd position where our customers are simply telling us, give us more. And so right now things are good. I am incredibly fortunate to have on this journey as the founder and CEO, Aviad Raz, who has several instances of already creating several successful startups of his own. Asi Abramovich, who is an absolutely phenomenal technologist. And we have great investors as the initial investors, as well as additional ones and advisors who have been with us throughout this journey. And it's going to be an incredibly long journey. So I hope they're ready for it. And what we're looking to do is build value. Basically, anything that has a Shopify presence, we know that we can give every single such entity a tremendous amount of value, and we're looking to do that. And if you are outside of Shopify, we are Israeli, so we are opportunistic, and so we're looking for those opportunities as well.
Amazing, thank you. I know we can't see on the screen right now, but everybody can hear us on Zoom. So if there's judges' questions, we're still trying to figure out the logistics from that, but please ask questions. Everyone can see, can hear everything. So, yeah.
Hi, thank you. I just wondering how the AI fits into this. I mean, how does it help, the system offer the customer like better solutions?
So the AI comes into play in that if you ordered blouse for $50 and you want to return that blouse, well, then there are we have now 5-6 different options, but there's going to be even additional ones of what is the right personalized offers to make to provide you. So there are the standard policies, for example, simply a refund, but through AI we can entice you to say, you know what, for you specifically we'll offer 110%, or for you it might actually be 130% in store credits, or differently we might offer you simply 80%, but is donate the item based off of your specific characteristics, the store's characteristics, the industry characteristics, and that's where the AI comes into place and actually providing the offers.
So the information is based on my purchases, not on like location or
it's
other things.
Right now about 60 different factors, including location, including how people near you behave. I can't speak a lot about the technology aspect of it, but there's a litany of factors or variables that it takes into account to really create a personalized offer.
How do you handle serial returners?
Great question. So the issue there is there's two parts. There's whether a serial returner is a customer that has a high LTV and is simply returning for either he wasn't pleased with the product, but actually is a great customer, or whether there's a situation of abuse. Today, we have algorithms to identify situations where it actually is abuse and somebody trying to game the system either by trying to get more credits or trying to, in a sense, try to get free items. So those algorithms we have in place to identify those individuals.
You spoke about integration and you spoke about Shopify, but the company has many more systems that they need to connect you to. So can you speak more about your APIs and how system integration works?
Sure. Today, we don't have a public API. The way our integration works is most of the situations we actually need information from third parties. So we have integrations with carrier providers such as, or carrier integrators such as Shippo or ShipStation. We also have integrations with the carrier themselves such as USPS and FedEx. We're working with our customers to also have an integration with their warehouse management systems and their ERP, because that's actually incredibly relevant to being able to provide a complete process of the return staff being able to seamlessly do something as simple as add something back into inventory. Today, it's oftentimes a manual process that has tremendous overhead associated with it. We have a strong tech team that knows how to do integrations.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Next, we have Yuri and Amit from Robo AI on Zoom. Yeah.
Can they start already?
us for the technical difficulties. We have over 70 people online, and we have all these people here. And you know, it's a new thing to do this hybrid event. We're improving, and the third time is a charm, as they say.
It's working really well. We got the gist of it. You were very low on for us in Zoom, but it's working really well. Thank you for the flexibility, and hopefully in the third time we'll all fly to Tel Aviv and we'll do it in person, so we don't need to worry about Zoom.
Yay, Santiago! Thank you very much. So Robo AI. Okay, so let's move to Hello Tractor, which is also via Zoom.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. We can hear you, but can't see you. Just a second.
Okay.
Right. And your video. All right. Can you turn on your video?
Okay. Can you all see me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Right. Perfect. It's good to be here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jahel Oliver, and I'm the CEO of Hello Tractor. We're the largest marketplace for tractor services serving smallholder farmers. And, you know, we started this business 6 years ago because we saw a huge gap in the market where farmers across Africa plant late, undercultivate their land, and lose income because they don't have access to the equipment or labor that they need to take advantage of the resources right under their feet. And so as a result of that, they're losing income, they're losing yield, and it creates all sorts of challenges across the value chains that they operate in. And demographic shifts across the continent are only making this issue worse as populations urbanize and farm populations continue to age. And so typically in such a labor constrained environment, equipment is a perfect bridge for that power gap. But unfortunately, in sub-Saharan Africa, there's a dearth of equipment. In fact, it's one of the least mechanized places on earth. And that lack of equipment contributes to 50% of the yield gap that these farmers face. And that yield gap is the average yield per acre for a given crop globally versus what these farmers are actually growing on their fields. And so that's contributing to food and income security as well. And a big challenge for equipment owners is that, you know, when they purchase this equipment, they're often not the ones driving it around. And so they have to be able to remotely manage the equipment and get comfortable with the idea of sending that tractor or that combine miles and miles away to service farmers that are in need and willing to pay. Also, those farmers are distributed across broad geographies, and they're growing on small plots. And so aggregating demand is mission critical for these tractor service providers. And this is something that just often doesn't happen, and it's a market failure. And then lastly, the business case for owning farm equipment as a business asset is just something that is yet to be proven. And so you see underinvestment in farm equipment as an asset class, but this is where we saw an opportunity at Hello Tractor. And our solution is really twofold because we work in a double-sided marketplace where we first focused on the needs of equipment owners, giving them an IoT-enabled tool to remotely manage the equipment that they have in their fleet, monitoring everything from the maintenance needs of their equipment, location, usage, how much worked in my tractor complete or combine complete, my operator's performance with the equipment. And as we grow that supply of equipment owners using our technology to manage their fleet, we then opened up a marketplace where we connect those equipment owners to farmers in need of service and booking for services through community-based agents using our booking application. These booking agents earn a commission by organizing farmers in their community who are in need of services. And through our applications, they can efficiently connect to the right equipment at the right time to ensure their growers have timely, convenient, and affordable access to services. Now, as we've grown our approach, starting in Kenya, we're now in 13 countries. We've seen that our product does incredibly well. In Nigeria, for example, where we started, 40% of all tractors in the market are operating on the Hello Tractor platform. But that's not enough. There's still a lack of supply. And the results of equipment on our platform is unquestioned. We pay very close attention to how that equipment performs and the impact that equipment delivers across the last mile to our growers. And as you can see from the statistics here, the vast majority of our customers improve their yields, improve their income. And the statistic that I'm most proud of is that we're digging incredibly deep into the market, reaching customers who are sitting at or below the poverty line with a service that over half of them have never received in their entire life. So this is the first time they've ever had a tractor on their farm, and that's because of Hello Tractor. Our net promoter score of 82% is one of the top scores that you'll see in ag tech. Farmers are notoriously difficult on tech solutions, but it's because we focus on the needs of our growers and put their needs first. I think that's what really has driven those satisfactory data points coming out of our customer base. As we look to continue to grow beyond our existing point, a key area where we knew we needed to invest was on the supply side, because every single year we have way more farmers who need tractor services than the supply of tractors to service those farmers. So we partnered with Moody's and MasterCard to design a pay-as-you-go tractor finance product that allows individuals, rural entrepreneurs, to finance tractors for the first time. And these are traditionally unbanked individuals. That finance tractor comes with a full book of business. And as the entrepreneur services the demand that we bring them, they're able to pay down the loan in small increments. And this is activity that we track fully over our platform to ensure that this loan is de-risked and the repayments are made. We launched this product 6 months ago. We've raised $10 million. And now we're looking at interesting ways to deploy these finance assets into our partners' supply chains. AB InBev, for example, would be a great partner where, as we identify these entrepreneurs, finance them for equipment, assign them to a book of business that are AB InBev growers, right? And as these tractors service these growers, the growers are not only improving their yields and income and repaying the loan, but they're also impacting the livelihoods of those in their household as well, while strengthening the AB InBev supply chain. And because we have such close relationships with these entrepreneurs, we can also introduce regenerative practices like minimal tillage, which is a activity that we promote on our platform to not only improve farmers' yields, but also protect their soils for the long run. So this is Hello Tractor in a nutshell. I'm looking forward to answering any questions that you all have. Thank you.
Hi, Jahel, Tom here.
Hey, Tom.
Great presentation. Thank you for that. Really, really impressed. One question that occurs, and it's a similar problem that lots of people doing the kind of thing that you're doing, the kind of Uber thing that you're doing, face is what happens when every farmer wants a tractor. You know, it's that time of year when they want to do the planting or the harvesting or whatever. So demand is peaking, and you mentioned already you're supply constrained.
Yeah. So what we did in response to this challenge of having more demand than supply was we created a route optimization tool that, regardless of the country that you're in, as a tractor owner, you get a prescribed route based on the agroecological factors of that country, which is the planting windows and planting behaviors of the farmers in that country, to ensure that the tractor is fully booked, right? And we're not going to book more than what your tractor can handle. And we actually do that for all the assets on our platform, right? As demand drops out of the market and we need to supplement the tractor owner's book of business, we also do hyper-targeted marketing campaigns using our good friend Mark Zuckerberg's marketing tools, where in a 5-kilometer radius, we can market your tractor and the specific activities that your tractor can do to get you fully booked to supplement that loss of demand. And so we're very careful about making sure we're not frustrating the demand in the market, because as you rightly pointed out, these growers rely on us to deliver the service. So the last thing we want to do is leave them out in the cold, not getting access to a tractor when they expect it from us. That's a good question. And it's a tricky one too. It took us a few years to come up with a solution to that. So, and it's evolving.
Sure.
Are you renting other types of equipment, or maybe I missed this, or just tractors right now?
Hey, Macy. We do combines, we do self-propelled sprayers, tractors, of course, and all the implements that a customer needs. Our second most popular implement is going to be a trailer for rural transport. And we just started doing long haul as well. So a tractor can remove, that product out of the field across the last mile to a drop-off point. And then we're working on logistics tools to then connect that tractor to a long haul vehicle to take it to the ginnery or the brewery in a more efficient way, more cost-effective way. But yeah, but those would be the major kind of assets that we currently track on the platform.
Thank you.
From an expansion perspective, how do you see this expanding into other geographies? Africa is clear for us, but what about Latin America? How are you targeting that market?
Well, I mean, one of the reasons we're on this call, Santiago, is to look at opportunities for us to embed Hello Tractor into supply chains that provide us with demand that we can then service. And once you have that demand mapped out, right, we got people a lot smarter than me working on how to make sure tractors are engaged to service demand that comes to us from our B2B customers. But once we have that B2B customer who has a strong, stable supply chain, they're supporting the growers, we can integrate into that system, engage supply to get that demand service. And we do that opportunistically, right? Right now, we sell our SaaS all over the world. We're in 13 countries in Africa, 3 Asian countries. That allows us to see the market, see what's going on, develop our supply, and then opportunistically turn on demand as our partners come to us and say, hey, I got 15,000 growers that need mechanization. Can you help? Absolutely, we can.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can you speak about a bit the business model, like what's the trajectory next year, the following year?
We have about 20 seconds, so.
So just give the numbers.
Yeah. We sell SaaS for $200 per unit, and that's annual. And then we charge a 5% booking commission. We expect to do around $3 million at the close of this year. And if we close some large factory deals, we'll do a considerable amount more than that. But we focus on what we can control, which is direct sales and not as much the B2B to the larger tracker OEMs. But if we get that, we'll be doing gangbusters, and maybe we'll be listed alongside AB InBev one day. It's getting late for me. Excuse me.
That's like the best note to end on. So thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Next we have Yuri from Robot AI, and he's on Zoom. Yuri, are you there?
Hello.
We hear you.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. And just before I begin, I'll show you something amazing in this late hour. This is my cup. And I can...
Show your cup again.
Okay, this is my cup, very simple cup, and I can grab it. This was amazing. Trust me. We humans do it all the time without thinking and everywhere. But imagine that you are a robot and you need to grab this cup. It requires complex sensors just to understand the position, orientation, and then you can do the motion. And this is very complex task for robots. And it requires very complex sensors, and we simplify it. And now I would like to share with you how we connect it to sustainability and why it will affect our lives. I hope you can see my screen. So manufacturing and sustainability. So everybody knows this map. There is low-income countries, and we know where them. There's a very complex geopolitical situations. Also, manufacturing costs totally correlated to this map. It's also the manufacturing factories are located in different parts that has very low income, and this is amazing. This is also indicates some kind of trend that we have. But think about robotics. If you have an automation in the factory and the cost of the robots usually is the same, this equipment, it means that your manufacturing don't need to be exported to somewhere. It could be local because you can remain competitive even this kind of automation needs. The big question is, what is the price of the automation? We just break down some cost, salary of the middle wage worker, and also in the United States, and also price of the robot. This is starting price, which runs around $50,000–$60,000. So the problem is as follows. There is a big expectations in robotics. That's like robots will come to our houses, kitchens, hospitals, not only manufacturing, $176 billion of expectations. But actually what is happening in many places, the manufacturing is still done manually due to very complex cost and also due to another problem called situation awareness. In autonomous cars, they already understood that it's very important to know not only your place, but also other cars, where there are objects, signs, people, and the same goes for robotics. And the understanding of the situation awareness is crucial for the robots to help people. So how it is done today? Most of the sensing technology is based on three types of sensors. One is laser, LiDARs, or projecting light, using multiple cameras that can maybe move. And all of them has all kind of drawbacks like size, cost, precision that you can have. So what we did, and first of all, we understood very simple thing. We humans don't have lasers. We can close one eye, and you can do this experiment right now. And with one eye, we can drive, work, and do a lot of things. And we can even grab an object in front of you. And this is very important human capability. And this is why we created a software that mimics this human capability. This software connects to any camera, even your smartphone camera, something like this, and gives you position of objects in space. That's it. 6 numbers. And every known object can be recognized, and its position is very important for many automation tasks. For example, just picking some objects from the table, or this problem that we are showing right now, it's a bin picking, where the robot can come and bring some random collection of objects. You don't need to specify it, you know, to fix the environment. You don't need nothing. It's a software. It's based on AI. And obviously, every customer has its own object. So we provide them a training tool that can create its own objects, and then they can use them in a real time. The software is sold for the customers that have different types of robots, and it's really easy to deploy. And for our main customers coming from different directions, like robot manufacturers, sensor manufacturers, and automation providers. We are a relatively young company, but we already have many different customers like Whirlpool, Flex, Deutsche Telekom. Denso Corporation decided to integrate our technology in the future robotic arms. About the team, me myself, I'm coming from the many years of experience in the Israeli defense industry. I co-founded and I was joined two co-founders to found the company called TytoCare, which is telemedical industry. The company raised around $150 million, and also hold several degrees from the Technion and a PhD from neuroscience. Together with me, where I met Dr. Amit Kumar, and he's helping me with all aspects of the business development, and also guys from many experience from manufacturing and investors from Israeli companies. So let me stress for you what is we are doing special about us. We are using very simple camera. It's a very versatile. You can very easy to integrate it any known platform. It has very good performance. You can work with very small objects, big objects, and it can work very fast. And also it's very cost attractive, and it reduces your ROI. From the sustainability point of view, we allow many labor-intensive tasks to be automated. And this means that we can really enable local manufacturing, where you can stay competitive. And this local manufacturing could be even reducing the carbon emissions, since you don't need to move stuff to other countries. Thank you very much, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Yuri. I'm going to open the floor. Any questions from on Zoom or here? Anyone online?
Can we see Yuri? Yeah, now I see. Okay. So obviously the purpose of reducing manual labor and encouraging local manufacturing is super important. However, I'll ask it as in the form of a question. What will happen if your technology will be like, you'll be approached by a customer, let's say a military equipment provider that wants to use this for their purposes? How will you decide if you will take the offer or not?
It's a tricky question. Listen, we are a startup company, and we really aim big. I don't think the military providers really help the startups to, I don't know what kind of sales we can have, but we actually looking into the big companies that can scale up us very easy, and the military providers is not our point of interest, but you know, never know what is happening, but we aim ourselves to manufacturing, and I don't know if there is a use case in the military.
All right, thanks.
In terms of scalability, you mentioned the cost of labor in the US, and you can equate that to Western Europe as well. How do we make in terms of scaling into lower cost countries, like you had in your map in South America or Africa or parts of Asia, where that's the biggest opportunity in your map? What's the strategy to go there?
So our strategy is, first of all, to partner with local manufacturers or local companies that have representation there, and they already know their market. We white label our software, and this is what is most best thing we can think of, and this is our strategy, to have partnerships with autonomous automation providers or robotic manufacturers in these local countries.
Okay, thank you, Yuri, so much. It was really nice to hear from you and see you. Last but not least, we have Ron from Growers Tech, who's here. Welcome. So thank you, Yuri.
Okay. The last one, still alive. Hang in there. Do we have a click here or something? Yes. Oh, I need to talk with the. Okay. Let's see. Great. That's not my presentation, even though it sounds like a fun way to start with.
You can intro yourself.
Don't start my 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, I promise.
Okay, so guys, I'm very happy to present. First of all, we are rebranding. So the new name is Agmatics. You're the first one to know. So we are going to go live. Exactly. We're going to go live next week. So don't tell anyone yet. Just a word about Agmatics. We're a startup company. We were founded by ICL a year ago. We are in the business of big data in agronomy. It's a combination of what we call agroinformatics. It's a combination of data science and a deep agronomy knowledge. We're around 50 people, and we are headquartered in Tel Aviv. We founded Agmatics a year ago because when we started to look at the agriculture market, what we see, and it was mentioned, by the way, before, this market is exploding with data. Just amazing. Just to give you a sense, only for one season, for one crop in one location, we are talking about 900 terabytes of data, which is just amazing what is happening in this industry. But the flip side of this is that when we talk with growers, we talk with the farmers, they are totally overwhelmed with the amount of solutions that they have. And when you look at all of the players which are going to and trying to target the single farmer, they're totally overwhelmed. Usually it's not interconnected. The data is not standardized. And in the end, the farmer he has a maximum cell phone, and it's very hard to drive action. And this is the big problem that we see today. We believe from research that we have done that if we could find a technology that knows to standardize agronomic data and interconnect all of those different solutions, we can increase food production by at least 15%. Other research talks about 6 to 9%, but it's a huge, huge, huge opportunity that we can conquer if we know how to connect and standardize all of this data. And it's a big task to do, a huge task, but we decided to select one area, one domain, and to start from there in order to generate the maximum impact on agronomy data. And the area that we decided to choose is research and agronomic research and field trials and experiments. This is something that almost all of the companies in the value chains are doing, either startup companies, food companies, ag companies, NGOs, universities. Everybody is doing this type of field trials and experiments. It's done in a controlled environment. Data is very high quality, and if we could standardize and digitize this space, we believe that the impact we can generate is very big on agronomy in general and on food production in a sustainable way. Basically, our idea is in very simple 4 or 5 steps. We are digitizing field trials and research. We provide a platform that knows to manage experiments in agronomy from the planning phase through data collection and analysis. We also come to companies who has legacy data, which sits in very different locations, and we automatically ingest the data into a standardized database that we have chosen and developed. Once data is there, we have an excellent team of experts who knows to develop advanced models over this data prediction models, advanced data analytics. And what we also have developed is a unique nutrition decision support system that knows how to drive all the way those models and insights to the farmer or to the agronomist to support the farmer. And in the end of the day, we're also developing technologies that helps to have feedback loops back to see the crop modeling to make sure that we can improve. Things like using Spectra and Near IR for tissue testing and sensing and more. Basically, this is a powerful technology that one of these applications could be to optimize the use of nutrition in order to reduce negative environmental impact. If you know, there are specific crops that you can add fertilization more and more, the crop's yield goes up, and in a certain phase, it's started to plateau and started to reduce. But you continue, farmers do not know because fertilization is cheap. They continue to fertilize and environmental impacts go up, either with leaching, which is a soil impact, or a carbon emission. And all of this research that we know to digitize knows how to really translate this into a digital solution that knows to give a specific advice when you need to stop fertilizing in order to stop negative environmental losses and reach maximum yield. We already have partners which are partnering with us from different types of environments. We have universities, advanced universities with agronomy globally that gives us the research and the data. We have our companies, commercial companies, NGOs, and governments as well. And we are searching to partner with food companies as well, because they're also doing a lot of research and want to drive this impact to the farmers level. We believe that our technology can help almost all the Accelerator 100 and sustainable target, both for farmer enablement, everything that has to do with crop quality and sustainability, as well as advanced testing and analysis. It's all in one platform, and this is part of our uniqueness. We have an amazing team, which is really shows the combination of strong agronomy and deep tech knowledge. Two of my colleagues are here. We have Sagi, who is our chief agronomist, coming from the Hebrew University, and much more. And we have Shai, our chief scientist, who did his postdoc in Cornell and is an expert in data science and agroinformatics. The rest of the team could not come, but they're also with us in heart. So that's it, more or less. Did I make it 5 minutes? I did my best.
Yeah,
perfect.
Any questions?
Where are you at? What stage? You know, what is your business model or your go-to-market?
Sure. So we are not going to sell to the farmer because the farmers usually don't have the money to pay. And we want to sell to the ag advisors, either the agronomists or the different advisors, which are usually working with the big buyers, which is the food companies, the ag companies. And we sell licenses for the solutions that we provide. So it's an ARR business, a regular license. What we do want to do is the data ingestion, which we have developed, a unique technology. We are going to give it for free. So basically the idea, because we want to get the data, is as much data that I have, the aggregated data will enable to do better models for everyone, and everybody will, so this part will be for free, and the solutions that we bring, either the research management system that I've discussed or the decision system, will be licensed.
Any other questions from in the room or online? Amit?
Yeah, so one quick question. You mentioned in the beginning that you were...
You're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Amit, we can't hear you.
I can speak.
Yes, now we can hear you. Great.
Okay.
Answer is yes.
So actually, you should have the answer is no. No, but seriously, you said in the beginning that you were funded by ICL, not founded, but funded by ICL. Does that mean that what, they are an investor, they are holding 100%? Like, what's the future and how do you see growth when it comes to the investment side?
We are founded and funded by ICL. We are not looking for additional funding. So we are well funded for the next few years. What I'm looking is for strategic partnerships. And we believe we can bring a lot of value for AB InBev and other companies as well who has vertically integrated their supply chain. And that's what we are looking for. We are not, it's good to have money, but we are well funded and that's fine.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great. Any more questions? We have time for one more.
Come on, guys, to close the night. Say something messy. Yes.
How many field trials have you actually conducted with corporate partners or in general?
Yeah, we have first of all, we have huge success with research and our companies that you saw on the slide. So we are actually ingested already around 4 million different field trials and data sets. And actually we have more data which are still ingestion. So we have a lot of data. We have almost 70% of our data is on row crops. And we are now want to do more targeted approach and try to get more field trials on specific data that can help food companies in their what they are manufacturing. So in order to generate more data to add more value. So data we have a lot, and we as much as we can get, the better.
Great. Thank you so much.
Sure, guys.
Okay. Thank you so much. As you can tell, we saw 6 amazing companies. Hybrid events are tricky. So if you have any feedback, we'd love it. We really appreciate you all being here and your engagement and your presence. Thank you to AB InBev and Deloitte and all our partners. We really appreciate you and love working with you. So feel free. The room's open for a while. So if you want to talk to any of the startups or mingle, feel free to grab a drink or some more food before you head home. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.